Yeah, I think we took advantage of the bye weekend and gave our team the weekend off, which was the first time we've kind of been away from each other since Christmas. So I think it was good just for everybody to get some time to, not think about basketball for 2 days, quite honestly. And I think our kids came back really refreshed yesterday for practice. It's a huge week for us. I mean, obviously coming off two big home games where we played very well, to try to bring that momentum on the road is going to be really important for us. We haven't been as good on the road. It's not a surprise. But, some factors have gone into that. We didn't have a full roster when we were in Texas a couple weeks ago. And so those aren't excuses. It's just the reality. And, what I'm really hoping for is we, go down to Florida, that our team can bring confidence from, playing so well our last two games and be able to bring that momentum for us to win on the road, which is really difficult to do in Conference USA. Well, I think it's a couple of things, but I certainly really believe that our players are becoming more comfortable in their roles. They're confident in what they're supposed to be doing and how they're supposed to be doing it. I don't feel like, we look as tentative or, just there's times when we were kind of going through the transition of losing Michaela when, our kids just kind of looked like they didn't know what they were doing and what was expected. And I think, it wasn't because of lack of coaching or telling them. It just takes time for them to kind of figure that out. And I think that we've really gotten to a point where our players do understand what they're supposed to be doing. They're executing their roles really well. We're taking much better shots, which is, clear through our shooting percentage. We're getting, just a little bit better at crashing the boards. So it's just a variety of things, I think, that are helping us grow as a team.
Looking ahead to FIU, what is going to be your focus going into that game?
Taking care of the ball. I mean, we had 29 turnovers against them last time, and, obviously that certainly helps fuel their offense, but it also really hurts our ability to score. And, that was just, when you look at probably our losses this season, I'm not sure that there was one that was more disappointing or devastating to our team because, we were up 5, I think about 3.5, 4 minutes to go at home, and weren't able to close out. And that's not characteristic of our team, So I think, for us, we just have to go down there and play a little bit better, and it starts with taking care of the ball.
You said that February is kind of this hard grind for you guys. How do you kind of rally and keep up this really good improvement that you've had so far?
Well, I think we talk about it. It's not a surprise, and it's a grind for us. It's a grind for everybody. February is a really hard month in basketball because we've been going so long. I mean, I think we're on practice 72 today. I mean, that's a lot of practices, and that doesn't even count the preseason and the summer. I mean, basketball is just a really long season, and so, it's not something that we shy away from. We talk about. We talk to our players about how, discipline is so important. Discipline is about doing things that you have to do even when you don't feel like it. And sometimes in February you don't feel like, doing this thing one more time, but doing that thing one more time helps you to win. So, we're open about it. We talk about it. I think as coaches, again, we try to give them time off when we can and, do fun things. We had an ice cream sundae bar last week for them after practice. Just little things that kind of change things up and keep them excited. That's a great question, because for me, I feel really confident. I feel good about the direction our team is going, but so much of it is about the players and how they feel. And so I think it's going to be important for us as coaches to just continue to, instill that confidence in them, to hype them up, to get them to understand like the direction we're going is really positive, but also, not go too far. I mean, we still have to go and win, and, we still have to go beat two really good teams. So I think there's a fine line of that. But, more than anything, I just hope that our players, feel good going into this week.
Coach, 28 fourth quarter points on Saturday's win over the Hilltoppers, season high. Can you talk about anything you saw in that film that can maybe be transferred into the rest of the season going forward?
Well, I think for us, when we stay aggressive, I mean, that's when we are at our best. And I felt like both in the Western Kentucky and the Rice game in the fourth quarter, we were really aggressive. I mean, we did a much better job getting to the hoop. We were able to get more free throw opportunities. We were really smart about the shots that we took. And so when we are aggressive, when we get out in transition, which I also thought we were able to do some in both of those quarters. We are a really good, offensive team. For us, it's about trying to maintain that over 4 quarters.
Now, you said aggressiveness, and that's not just how many shot attempts you have, but the quality of shot also. Sometimes you're passing up a good shot for a great shot. Can you talk about maybe how many great shots you've seen from your team this year, and how you know whether, let me pass this one up to try and get better?
Well, I think we've really grown in our shot selection. And again, that speaks to what I was speaking about earlier in terms of people understanding their roles. I mean, each one of our players have what is called their kill shot. And they know what it is, and their teammates know what it is. And so that is basically the best shot that they can take during a game. And so, much of what we try to do is we try to hunt those kill shots for each individual. Now, some have more than others. Deja Lawrence has different and more kill shots than maybe Tamia Davis. Her kill shot is a open catch and shoot 3. Whereas, Deja is more of a 3-level scorer and has probably 3 different, kill shots on her sheet. So, our kids are very locked into shot selection. They know what type of shots we need to take. They know who needs to be taking the majority of the shots. Maya McGraw is a big example. She's shooting, almost 55% in conference play. Like, that's a kid that needs to get a lot of touches for us to be successful. Now, defensives are doing a really good job trying to take her away, and we just have to continue to adjust. But it all comes down to just, being on the same page, communicating with our student athletes, and then buying in, and I feel like we're doing that.
On the defensive side of the ball, defense has been getting better and better each game as well. It's not just offense, it's now defense. Talk about the defensive effort and, putting everything together for 40 minutes.
I think our kids are just really growing. When you look at, once Michaela went down, we just had so many young players that all of a sudden had to play a lot more minutes and really significant minutes. Again, Tamia Davis is a huge example of that. She went from a limited role player to now a kid playing 25, 26, 28 minutes. And, whenever you make that transition, it's hard because there's so much more that's expected of each individual. And it takes time. You want to look at it as a fan and say, why are those kids making those mistakes? Well, it's hard under pressure to execute correctly every single time, and that is the expectation. And it just took us some time because we had so many people, being asked to do, so many new things under pressure situations. And, I said this earlier, I could see us getting better. It might not have always been reflected in our stats or reflected in our scores or our wins and losses, but I could see it. And our coaches could see it, and we just kept encouraging our players, and now it's paying off. I mean, defensively, Western and Rice were 2 of the highest scoring teams in the league, and we're about to play another one in FIU this week, and we played them pretty darn good, maybe as good as anybody in the league, minus maybe Middle Tennessee, who's, the best defensive team in the league. So, that's just a credit to us, just, sticking with the process, understanding that, we were going to get better, and buying in and getting better.
Now, you talked about kill shots for your team. Do you scout kill shots for other teams and the other opponents, try to limit how many shots that they can get?
We do. We certainly put that in their personnel. So for our scouting reports, we have we're very, we really rely on our personnel defense at Charlotte. We might not worry as much about everything that they run because we believe if we play people's personnel correctly, we can do enough to win the game. And so we do, often put in, hey, this is so-and-so's kill shot. This is so-and-so's kill shot. We need to make sure we're taking this away. And our kids, they know the scouting report to a T, and they know what those shots that they're supposed to be taking away.
With the second half of the season coming up, now that we're playing everybody twice, is there an advantage or disadvantage, or is it kind of in the middle with facing somebody for a second time?
Well, I think, both us and the other coaches were all facing each other a second time. And I actually love the second matchup because I think it's so much more of a chess match, and it comes down to, the geeky coaching things that you love and like what little things can we do that will help us win? What things can we see on film that they did against us in the last game? And I'm sure the other coaches, feel the same way. So, me personally, I enjoy the second matchups because of all of those things. And I think that, we do an outstanding job scouting. I really do. My coaching staff, our video staff, I mean, everybody, we know everything that they're going to run unless they put something in brand new, which, of course happens sometimes. And we take a lot of pride in, having our players prepared. And I think they take a lot of pride in it as well. I mean, they go out there and there's not often times that they feel like unprepared or not knowing what's going to come and hit them. And I think, again, they take a lot of pride in knowing that stuff is coming.
Another advantage, disadvantage question. 11 a.m. start on Thursday. Do you like getting up early, going and playing? Or do you like, kind of the rest and sitting around and playing at nights? To keep the girls from thinking too much? What do you think?
It doesn't matter what I like. We're playing at 11 a.m. you know what I mean? Like, to me, there's no point in thinking about something that is out of our control. We're playing at 11 a.m., and so we're going to be ready to play at 11 a.m. Now, I will say, and I said this last night on our radio show, different tip times feel very different after COVID. Back in the day, you'd be like, oh, it's 11 a.m., we never play at that time. During COVID, we played all random times. We played back-to-back. We had games canceled the day of. We added games the day before. And so, our players have been through that, and even players that were in high school went through that. So COVID, I think, has changed many things when it comes to that, and it just doesn't feel as atypical, to start at an 11 a.m. time.